Hi, I'm Laine Walsh. I'm a family educator at Swedish Hospital. I am here to talk to you about the fourth trimester. So, what is it? The fourth trimester is a transitional period between birth and about 3 months old. So, that's when your baby is adjusting to our world and you're adjusting to having a baby and being a parent. So, you're a new parent. Guess what else is new? You have a tiny, helpless little human being that's looking for you for food, safety, and shelter. No pressure, right? Having a new baby is an exciting time. Also, it's very physically, mentally, and emotionally draining. So what are the things you need to consider for the fourth trimester? Well, first of all, there's things that you can do to prepare for the fourth trimester. There's things that you should know regarding the birthing parent, the non-birthing parent, any parent, and then there's newborn care. So the things to prepare for the fourth trimester is this. First of all, don't wait until the baby's born to start preparing yourself. Talk with your OB or midwife about things to expect after baby is born. Make sure you know when those appointments need to be made for after birth. Have a plan in place for getting good sleep and managing self-care. Know when and whom to call in case you have problems after delivery. I would also have contacts available in case you need a postpartum doula or a lactation consultant. The next thing is accept offers to help. Now, this is a hard one for us because usually we are used to doing things for ourselves. But when you have a new baby, you're transitioning into a period of your life where you should be accepting help. What that help can look like is allowing your friends and family to deliver food for you. And it could be just at your front door for dinner. Or maybe you have friends and family sending you gift cards to restaurants or delivery meals. Other ways to ask for help, allowing friends and family to watch baby even for 20 minutes so you can either take a shower, maybe close your eyes for a little bit, or ask them to wash your dishes, wash your laundry, vacuum. Any or all of those things are completely acceptable during this time. Next is to check in with yourself and your partner. Make sure that you're checking in with your emotions, your physical needs, and your mental needs. Ignoring problems can lead to escalation of problems. If something's bothering you or if you're uncertain, ask for help from your healthcare provider. It is not a sign of failure at all. You should not be alone in this journey. You should always reach out to your resources. Make sure you and your partner are checking in continuously. Things are going to change. You need to set those expectations for each other and also have them be updated in case things aren't going exactly the way you planned. With sleep deprivation comes lack of communication. So be kind to yourself and be kind to each other. The next thing is another important thing for your body. Eat a nutritious diet and drink plenty of water. Right now, you're not sleeping as much as you're used to, and it can be very easy to just not eat because it takes too much time. This is another reason why you need to accept help from friends and family and have them bring you food. Or maybe you start cooking double the recipe and freeze half of it. Make sure to pick some easy to grab food and snacks. That way, when you only have 2 minutes, you're able to eat something that's going to fuel your body. Okay, this last way is pretty obvious, but a lot harder than you would think. Okay, get as much sleep as you can. Once baby is born, you have to feed baby every 2.5 to 3 hours on average, okay? Their bellies are super tiny, which means that you're not getting a lot of restful sleep or not continuous sleep. So things that you need to consider: sleep when baby sleeps. I know that's the old saying, but it's completely true. Don't wash dishes or do laundry when baby sleeps. Try to sleep or rest. Close your eyes, put your phone away, do something to rest your brain. All right, let's talk about the birthing parent. Your body is amazing. It just grew a human being and you labored and delivered that human being into our world. It's pretty amazing. So give yourself some credit. A lot of your focus will be on baby, but make sure you're taking care of yourself. Try not to get frustrated. Your hormones are fluctuating. The best thing you can do, and you'll hear me say this again and again, you should rest, eat well, and give yourself grace. You just had a baby. Physical changes. The more rest you can give to your body, the better. Don't try to rush back into the things you used to do. You really need to give your body rest and listen to your OB or midwife when they say how long it's going to take for you to recover and how much activity you should be doing and how much activity you can add on. Concentrate on nourishing your body. Again, rest and fueling your body, drinking lots of fluids. The first week after giving birth to baby is the most intensive in terms of adjustment and recovery. Your vagina, your entire pelvic region, it's going to feel uncomfortable. It's probably swollen. You may need to sit on one of those blow-up donuts. It's all good. Most of us did. Your breast, nipples, areola, it's all gonna feel sore. When baby's in your belly, all of your organs gets pushed up really high. And once baby is born, those organs need to find its way back to normal, and that takes some time. Your uterus is pretty enlarged from carrying a baby in there, so that's going to be contracting to shrink back to normal size. And the likely time that it starts contracting is when you breastfeed or pump. And you could do a lot of things to help soothe your vagina. You could take warm baths. You can use witch hazel. You can definitely make sure to take home those squeezy bottles they give you at the hospital during your postpartum days there. Now, if you have a C-section, you're recovering from major surgery. It's important to follow your healthcare provider's instructions on pain regulation, wound care, and also physical limitations. Maybe your delivery was easy, maybe it was super complicated, maybe it was somewhere in between. Regardless, your body is amazing. All right, I'm gonna read another list here. Other things for you to expect for the birthing parent. You could have night sweats, lack of bladder control. Definitely talk to your healthcare provider if this is something that's ongoing. It should not be ongoing. It should get better and go away. If not, you may need some physical therapy treatment for that. Okay, let's talk about breast changes and nursing. Your breasts will become full of milk in a couple of days. In the beginning, it's just going to be colostrum that baby can get. And after that, when your milk comes in, some women feel like their breasts get full and some women get engorged, which can be really painful. If you are feeling uncomfortable or if you are experiencing any pain, definitely I highly recommend consulting with a lactation consultant. I recommend consulting with a lactation consultant even if you're not feeling uncomfortable or pain, just to make sure that everything is going smoothly and making it easier for yourself and baby. Breastfeeding is a journey that you are going through and baby's going through at the same time. If you plan on breastfeeding, just know that it is not some magical, natural thing that happens instinctually. It can be really hard, and it does leave some parents in tears, and it's completely normal for that to happen. Some babies can have tongue or lip tie. That's not unusual. So there's a lot of different things that can come into play. Some parents have an amazing experience and everything goes well. Okay, it can be different for everyone. What I'm trying to tell you is that not to expect it to be one way. If it feels hard at all, you're not the only one. Getting additional help for breastfeeding can be a game changer. So make sure you're utilizing your resources. There can be a lot of pressure to breastfeed your baby. Just know that fed is best. If it's not working out for you or if you have to supplement with formula, that is okay. You're still a good parent. Just do your best to give yourself grace, do what's best for your family, and try not to put too much pressure on yourself. All right, let's talk about the non-birthing parent. It is super common to feel like you've been pushed to the side. There's this new baby now and you have no role. That's not true. There are definitely still emotional, physical, and mental challenges. Your role is to be that really strong support for the birthing parent. You're still not getting as much sleep as you're used to because you're supporting baby and you're supporting the birthing parent, which means getting up every 2.5 to 3 hours to help change baby's diaper, get the breastfeeding parent set up, like refilling their water bottle, giving them a snack to eat. And then when baby's done feeding, burping baby, reswaddling baby, putting baby to sleep. All of those things can be your role. Again, communicate with your partner. And maybe what you think is helpful is something different from what your partner thinks is helpful. And even after baby is born, what was helpful, maybe there's something else that is more helpful. Things can constantly change. Another way you can help is to watch over that birthing parent and make sure they have all the support they need. Be a good listener and watch over their emotional state. Ask plenty of questions before trying to provide a solution because the problem might not be what you think. Okay, now this is for any parent. I've already talked about lack of sleep for all of you. You're going to be more irritable, so super important to give each other grace, take deep breaths, and give each other the benefit of the doubt. Both of you are going through a transition into parenthood. Before baby, it was just you as an individual. After baby, now it's we, because every decision you make from here on out is going to affect your baby. That transition period can be really hard for any parent. It is a completely different lifestyle than what you're used to. Once you become a parent, you are a parent for life. The way you look at things, the way you see things, the way you experience things are all going to be different. So you have to find out who you are as a parent. And that means you have to relearn your partner and figure out who they are as a parent. It's common to feel a loss of independence or a loss of sense of self. That's because almost everything you're doing is for baby, to keep baby fed, to keep baby happy, right? To keep baby with a dry diaper over and over again, all day long for however many months. So it's really easy to feel like you're not your own person anymore. You're not doing as much for yourself. I know I've talked about communication a lot between partners. I would just say to discuss what are the expectations you have for each other when baby arrives. And know that that's an open-ended conversation because you might have these expectations prior to baby's arrival, and then baby comes and it's not at all what you expected, so you have to revisit that conversation and talk again about what your new expectations are of each other. So if you're watching this video, that means you've already joined a support group, so good for you. For when your newborn comes, there's a lot of different support groups that you can have for that as well. And I highly recommend joining one. As much support as you can get or need, I highly recommend seeking out those resources. So let's talk about newborn care. Super important thing to do before baby gets here. If you are driving, make sure you have your car seat installed in your vehicle. And I highly recommend reading front to back your car seat manual. The car manual has a section about car seats. Read that because there may be something in there about your particular vehicle that you wouldn't know otherwise. If you can take a car seat class, highly recommend that. If you're not able to take a class, there is a website that you can go to get your car seat checked by a certified car seat technician. Next is responding to baby's needs. All babies cry. That's their only way to communicate, right? So responding to baby's needs is going to be important. There is no spoiling a baby at all. Now, babies all go through this period of purple crying. It's part of their development. And purple is an acronym. So it stands for peak of crying, which means babies can cry more and more and peak at 2 months old. And then months 3 through 5, it actually declines the amount of crying that happens. U is for unexpected. Baby can cry out of nowhere. R is for resist soothing. So all the soothing techniques that worked previously may not be working right now. P is for pain-like face. Their face may look like they're in pain even if they're not. L is for long lasting. Okay, so baby is gonna cry more and more, right? And the peak is 2 months. Baby could cry anywhere from 0 to 5 hours or more a day, okay? And so that doesn't mean that your baby's gonna cry that much, but I just wanna prepare you for the possibilities. Don't forget that after 2 months, the amount of crying decreases. And E is for evening. So the time that baby does this purple crying is usually the late afternoon or evening. Now it's a period of purple crying, which means it's a period. There's a beginning and there is an end. If your parent gut is telling you this has got to be more than purple crying, then call your baby's healthcare provider right away. Trust your gut. All right, so let's talk about diapering. You have to track the number of wet diapers that your baby has. So they should have, after they're a week old, they should have about anywhere between 6 to 12 wet diapers a day. So on average, about 8 wet diapers a day is what you're looking for. And that's how you're gonna know that your baby is getting enough to eat. Whenever you go to a baby wellness visit, they will ask you, how many wet diapers in the last 24 hours? That's why it's super important for you to be tracking this. Now moving on to feeding. I mentioned in the beginning that baby needs to eat every 2.5 to 3 hours. Now this is an average. Some babies will need to eat more often and some babies may be closer to that 3 hour. But babies' bellies are super tiny. When they're born, it's the size of a shooter marble. When they're a month old, it's the size of a ping pong ball. So super important that we're getting up to feed baby in the middle of the night. Do not wait for baby to cry because newborns, they're very sleepy babies. Even though they're not giving us a good 8-hour stretch, they're very sleepy in that they may not wake up to feed. So it's gonna be your job to set your alarm and wake baby up enough to feed them. What that looks like could be just a simple diaper change. That could wake baby up enough just for them to feed. When baby is awake, they have some classic signs of hunger. It could look like baby bringing their hand to their mouth. Baby could be smacking their lips together. Baby could be more fidgety than normal. And a really cute one is if baby is being held by anyone, it doesn't matter who it is, baby will turn their head to the breast and try to go to town. Crying is a late sign of hunger. So the next thing on the list is ways to reduce the risk of SIDS. Now, if you've never heard of SIDS before, you're probably familiar with SIDS, sudden infant death syndrome. SIDS is the sudden unexpected death of an infant under 12 months, and it could be unexplained, which that's what SIDS is, or it can be explained by a number of other reasons. The American Academy of Pediatrics, they create a list of the ways to reduce the risk of SIDS. This list is evidence-based. I'm going to show you the list here, and a lot of it, almost half of it, is in regards to safe sleep. I know I just gave you a ton of information, and I wish I could give you more. Utilize your friends and family, your support groups, and all the resources available to you. You're going to be a wonderful parent. Happy birthday to your baby.